Happy Monday. If you're watching on a replay, let me know in the comments, hashtag replay. As always, we'll give everybody a minute or two to get on and get caught up with us while we get set up here. If you are, even if you're watching on a replay and you're not watching live, keep in mind if there is some problem with the Facebook feed, you can always go over and watch the replay on YouTube, or if you're watching on YouTube, you can always go over to Facebook and watch from there after the fact or during. But we'll give people a minute or two to join in, and I can remind myself what it is that I'm supposed to be talking about tonight, because I started a project the other day and haven't gotten very far on it. So hi Julie, hi Linda, hi Nicole, thank you. I finally got it done. Technically I have not yet gone out for Valentine's dinner. We had Valentine's dinner at home because I was post surgery, but I have it done. So if we have a makeup Valentine's dinner redo, I can wear this out if we go out in public. Hi Stacy, you got to watch live. Awesome. I miss you. Sherry, still working on your thistle sweater. Excellent. Hi Donna. Increase rows. Okay. I thought I was going to have some simple knitting to do while I was talking to y'all, but I don't think I'm at a point where I can just do simple knitting on my new project yet. So I'll just have to sit and with my hands in my lap and try not to fidget too much. Hi E, thank you. I'm sad that I missed you the other day, but I really needed to go home and take a nap. So you better come back in so I can see you again, because I do miss you a lot. Okay, so let's go ahead and get started. It's after 7. I mentioned this, but I will mention it again now that a few more of you are on. If you're watching on Facebook and there's any sort of glitch or issue, you can always hop over to YouTube. Melissa posted the link in the comments. Same if you're watching on YouTube, you can always pop over to Facebook. We're live both places at the same time, and they're recorded and posted after the fact, both places at the same time. Joyce working on the Pitter Pat scarf while you're waiting for round 1. Yes. Hi, Mama. So hi, Cindy. Cindy, I'm going to be talking about your poncho in a minute. Welcome to Monday Motivation. Today is March 3rd. My name is Kristen. I'm the owner of the Little Yarn Shop located in Saginaw inside the SVRC Marketplace. Marketplace hours are Wednesday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Shop hours for us specifically are Wednesday through Saturday, 10 a.m. to 7 p.m. Hi, Oriana. Hi, Patty. As reminders, Deb does drop in help Monday evenings up in the front lobby. That goes from 6:30 to 8:30. It's $10 to get 2 hours of help from Deb and or Ashley on a project. It doesn't have to be a project from the shop. It can be any project, and they'll get you back on the right track. Hi, Jill. Upcoming events. Mark your calendars. Saturday, April 26th, this is the last Saturday in April, is local yarn store day. We're already starting to get patterns from designers that we're hoping to have samples for and special yarns for. And I'm hoping we will have some goodies in from different dyers too. I haven't heard too much about that yet, but I'm sure we'll have some good stuff because we usually do. So Saturday, April 26th is local yarn store day. Also coming up this summer, the 2 yarn crawls. The middle of the mitten yarn crawl is in June. That goes June 12th through 21st, and we will be open every day during that yarn crawl. And then the Heartland Yarn Adventure is July 25th through August 3rd. So we are taking pre-orders for both of those for the passports. My understanding is they will be a similar style as last year in terms of the middle of the mitten yarn crawl having a bit more information and the Heartland Yarn Adventure being more of just a guide with basic information in it, but both really, hi Julie. Um, both really good to have, even if you only make it to a couple shops. The Heartland Yarn Adventure one, especially, they have a lot of prizes that are given out for that shop hop. Also this summer, we've got hopefully some big things in store for, it will be our 10-year anniversary this year. So I have feelers out and I have things in the works, and so it's gonna be a great time to come into the shop if you are not local and are trying to decide which shops to go to over the summer for either one of the yarn crawls, or just if you're out of town and gonna be in town, it's gonna be worth it to come in and see all the goodies we're gonna have this summer. So keep that in mind. Hi, Teresa. So let's talk knitting. I am wearing, like I said, I finally finished what was supposed to be my Valentine's Day sweater. I had all these plans that when I was home after my hip surgery, I would be relegated to the couch and have all sorts of knitting time. That was sort of true, but also there was a lot more ribbing involved that was left in this sweater than I really thought. But I will get up and show it off because I'm so happy with how it looks. So this is the Salty Days sweater by Kutavakika. It is a top down, really interesting construction with the way the sleeves are shaped in the back and the front. The yarn is these two held together. So it's Malabrigo Arroyo, which is their sport decay weight yarn, plus Plymouth Surrey Stratus. So it suggests you could use a mohair. I wanted to try the Surrey Alpaca instead of a mohair. It's a little bit softer, but it still has, you can see it still has that great fuzzy halo haze on it. And top down, it's kind of a fun little sampler with some cables and some lace. The sleeves are picked up. Everything is done seamlessly. I really like how the decreases are done under the arms. A little bit of lace at the cuffs. A lot of twisted rib. Down at the bottom, it's twisted rib, 1x1 twisted rib on a tiny needle. So that's honestly what took me more than anything else. But I love this folded collar. I'm really happy with how that turned out. I just absolutely, hi Aunt Jackie. I am in love with it. It's so soft and cozy. It's not the lace in it actually helps with breathability a little bit, so it's not too hot. But I couldn't be happier with it. It's a little bit oversized. I think I did the 40, if I remember correctly, on the sizing for this one. Thank you, ladies. I love it. Yeah, Mom, you're not getting this one. I'm keeping this one for myself. It is, but it is so cozy and comfortable. Not at all. I do feel sometimes I have pretty sensitive skin when it comes to some yarns, and sometimes mohair can be a little bit problematic for me. Sometimes my own hair can be problematic for me, especially like on the back of my neck, it gets itchy. This is not itchy at all. It is so soft and just absolutely lovely. So this was what I'm wearing. It's also what I finished this week. I did want to show off three other finished things. Deb finished her cowl-to-puss cowl, and she used Malabrigo Caprino, which is their merino cashmere, Malabrigo's merino cashmere DK weight yarn. And she used I think she used 350-gram skeins, maybe 4 for her cowl-to-puss, but look how pretty that is. So I'll show it all opened up. You start at the top with the lace, and then it goes into straight brioche, And then it goes into the lace brioche. Look at how beautiful that is. And there is, mine's here on the table, so I'll show that off a little bit. There is kind of a, that's getting in the way. Where you join the hood in the round, there tends to be this little bit of a gap right there. I didn't do a very good job closing it up like I should have. But Deb had a really cool idea of using a couple wood buttons on there. Look how pretty that looks. It just looks so pretty on there. And then of course you can fold that up to have more of a balaclava masked hood look. I have a hard time doing this and having it not look like the Yip Yips from Sesame Street. Like the stockings I made for my kiddo and me a couple years ago. But so that's what it would look like if you folded it up and had the brioche part covering your nose and mouth. And I don't know if I should say hopefully she doesn't need it anymore this winter, or hopefully she does, because I'm sure she wants to wear it. But at the same time, I'm over winter and I'm ready to be done with it. But I'm sure it's only beginning of March. We know we are not through the worst of it. It's gonna come around again. And then if you saw any of the pictures that I posted from this weekend when we went to Columbus, I feel like I told our Uber driver this when we were on our way to the game on Saturday. You know, Michigan has Gladwin, Gaylord, and Grayling that are all kind of like, well, which is which, where it is. And Ohio has Cleveland, Columbus, and Cincinnati, where I can never keep them straight and which one's where. But we went to Columbus for a Red Wings game. Really, we went for the intermission where 21 Pilots were going to be putting on a little mini concert, which they did, and it was awesome, but it was like 8 minutes long because it was a hockey intermission. The stadium was packed. I've never been to Ohio State. Thankfully, Jody warned us ahead of time that it was an outdoor game, which again, if you saw the pictures, you would have seen how bundled up we were. It was cold. It was cold, you guys. But it was totally worth it. Like I said in the post, I did take a wheelchair and it made a huge difference because there was no way I could have been doing all that walking from wherever we would have parked or gotten let off by an Uber to where we had to go. Thankfully, we were able to get a shuttle, and then we got preferential seats because of my being in the wheelchair. And we were 11 rows, basically 11 rows off the ice, which was amazing. They had mics, kind of like they do with dance. They had mics on the ice so you could hear the sticks and you could hear the puck and you could hear the skates. And it was awesome. And the stands were packed, and it was a good mix of Detroit and Ohio and Columbus fans. It seemed like just really great energy. But all of that to say, one of the things that I got to wear, thanks to Cindy bringing and loaning it to me, was this. The name of the pattern is the double knit Kraken cowl. You may have only seen like this much of it in my pictures, but look at how cool that is. So it's a big old, it's more of a poncho than a cowl, but it is double knit. So obviously that's the red side, but double knit's completely reversible. So that's the white side. How cool is that? Not only did Cindy bring a wheelchair as a suggestion for me to use, but she also brought this for me to wear, and boy did I need it. I needed all the layers, but this is so squishy. So she didn't knit this for me. Somebody asked that. She did not knit this for me. She knit it for herself and loaned it to me so I could wear it at the game. But it's just so stinking cool. And of course I'm gonna wear it proudly and appreciate all that went into it. And one more layer on me was not a bad thing. We survived through 2 of the 3 periods of the hockey game before we decided we were frozen enough and nobody was really bound and determined to have to stay till the end of the game. And it was good because it took us, by the time we finally got to a place where we could get in Uber, the game was over. Like it took the entire third period for us to get somewhere accessible for an Uber and to find an Uber that could take us back to the hotel. Um, so a really fun weekend. I forgot to post when I was talking about the weekend because we found a really cool coffee shop down there called a Fox in the Hole, I think. And Odie, one of the college kids that went with us, got there. They had a tote bag that said world's best egg sandwich. And of course, I can't see world's best anything and not think of the movie Elf. But Odie got one and said it was really amazing and probably the best egg sandwich he'd ever had. So I did not get that. I got a pastry because I love me some sugar. But I forgot to post that on Saturday, I left my house a little bit early and had time to stop at Naughty Fun Yarn in Perry. So I got to meet the owner of that yarn store, a very cute shop right on the main drag in Perry. Talked to her a little bit about how she got started, what she thinks of the location. I did not realize that she bought the building to have studio space. She is a weaver and does a lot of fused glass, does a lot of her own fused glass things. And then it was kind of more of an afterthought that she opened the yarn store part, but I did find some yarn there to buy because you can't not buy yarn when you're at a yarn store. I can't not buy yarn at a yarn store for the most part. Wanted to get something, special and different. And so that was part of the weekend too. It's fun to be able to get out and see other shops. I don't get to do that very often. So I was glad I was able to get down there and see her. She had a fun little color palette tool that I picked up too that I think will be fun to have here in the shop. So the next time you're in, maybe we'll have that out and playing with it. I didn't bring that to show off. Okay, so that was the weekend knitting. What am I working on now? Well, I finished a sweater. Hi, Ruth. So that meant I get to start a new sweater. It should mean that I'm finishing something else on my needles, but we know how that goes. I have had this pattern in my favorites for a bit, and this is not the best picture, but it's called Spring in Her Path, and it's by Mary Annarella, who I really like her patterns. I've done a few. My mom has done quite a few of her patterns. Thank you, Ruth. I'm very happy with it. So Spring in Her Path is a good spring sweater. I was telling Melissa before we started, I was debating a little bit on what yarn to use for this. So here's the sweater. It can be done short, 3/4 or long sleeves. And I don't know if you guys can see very well it's like almost like a floral butterfly detail that has a panel down the front of it. And I really think if you have yarn with much variegation in it, you're going to lose a lot of that beautiful detail. Hi, Aunt Emily. And of course, I'm looking at this right now and looking at all the twisted rib that's in this and how I was just complaining about how there was so much twisted rib in this and I'm tired of it. And what do I do but pick another pattern that has a lot of twisted rib in the lace and the edging. But that's okay because it's beautiful. So it's going to be worth it. But I think even a hand-dyed tonal yarn, you're going to lose a lot of that detail. In looking through other people's projects, that's kind of what I found, that there were very few hand-dyed tonal colors where you could still see that beautiful lace. So two options came to mind. Well, three options came to mind, really. One, bamboo pop sock, but I already have a sample here, summer top in bamboo pop sock. Two would be Cascade Heritage, which is a great option. But then I remembered that I have wanted for the last couple years since we got it to do a summer top out of my custom color from North Bay Fibers. So this is, I don't have one that actually has the ball band or anything on it. Why would I? Hang on, they're everywhere around here. North Bay Fibers Elemental Fingering. This is the yarn that we did the collaboration with Jill a couple years ago and did our 3 custom colors. So we had Deb's Raspberry Jam, Kristen's Fave Teal, and Karen's Ultimate Blurple. So this is my color. This is Kristen's Fave Teal. And other than the town line shawl, I don't have another shop sample with this yarn. So that is what I'm using. It's a 100% Cornwall wool fingering in one of our custom colors. And this is as far as I've gotten, you guys, but that's okay. I just started it on Friday. And a lot of Mary Annarella's patterns start this way, where you're starting kind of with the back of the neck and the back of the shoulders, and then you pick up and knit the front. You build it a little bit from there, but I really like the way she explains it and gives you tons of pictures about what it's going to look like along the way as you're building it. So it's very well done. They're very well thought out. Any patterns that I've done of hers, I like how they fit. My mom has had a similar experience with her patterns as well. So I've just started the point where I'm starting to build this little sleeve cap in there. And I have to just kind of go back and forth and repeat 2 rows 17 times or something like that. So that's my newest project. But yeah, the Spring in Her Path I think is beautiful. I do really think if you haven't done a summer top out of Bamboo Pop sock, that would be a great option for this. It is a really great summer yarn. It feels really great. That's one that I will tell people over and over again. When I went to Mexico a couple of years ago, I took all of my summer sweaters with me and I wore that one more often, and it was by far the most comfortable in terms of feeling cool on your skin when you're in warmer weather. So it is a fitted sweater. She has options for it's written to have like a tapered waist, but she has instructions in there on how to skip that if you don't want to do the tapered waist. She has tips about cabling without a cable needle. So she says, shaping is accomplished along princess lines to allow for maximum flexibility in modifying to your own fit preferences. Garments intended to be worn with a bit of negative ease, but you can easily customize it to have more ease. See some thoughts about fit for more information on knitting to suit your preferences and needs. So like I said, she's generally pretty good about including a lot of information in her patterns. I'm just kind of looking to see where she has those notes because it's written and it's charted. Working the wrap stitch, the stitch. So she has one whole page that is some thoughts about fit. So lots of good information. She starts with, just as no 2 snowflakes are alike, everyone has their own unique, wonderful shape that we're aiming to flatter with a lovely hand knit garment. I've designed this particular pullover to be worn with some negative ease at the bust, a few inches of positive ease at the waist and hips. Look at the schematic and consider the following. So she's got bust measurement, crossback measurement. What if they don't coordinate the way you want them to? Clear as mud, made it through the sizing. So it's really worth it to invest in patterns that put that much thought into not just how a sweater is going to fit her as a designer, but lots of different bodies. And I think she does a really good job of that. So that's my next project. Oh, there is, I knew I was forgetting another project, another finished thing. Joyce brought in her finished socks from qualifying for Sock Madness. So the pattern for the qualifier was called Conjoined Sock Twins. And if you are part of our Craft Along with the Little Yarn Shop Facebook group, you will have seen that she posted the link to the pattern in there. But Very interesting construction. If you know Joyce, she likes to do 2 socks at a time. Toe up is her typical default, but with Sock Madness, you never know what you're gonna get. This qualifying sock duo, I guess, the pair were knit conjoined. So you started at, I think this is the toe up one. So you started with the toe of the first sock, knit a toe up sock, and then you kept going and knit a cuff down sock, and they were joined at the middle, and then you had to cut them and finish them off. So this is one of the two, but what's really cool is if you've done socks or looked at sock patterns, usually you can look at the heel, the gusset and heel flap of a sock and be able to tell whether it's toe up or cuff down, because the methods are fairly different for those. But in this case, I wish I had both socks here because they look almost identical. The heel flap and the gusset, which is kind of a cool, the way they do it is pretty neat on this, but they look almost identical between the two. And it's kind of neat to think about the fact that one was done going up the sock and the other one was done going down the sock. And it did require that you have a little bit of a contrast color for the bind off for the top of the sock. But Joyce was assigned to her group, and I think I glanced briefly. It looks like it's a lot of international knitters on her team, but you know, she always does an amazing job and does really well with it. So that's another finished thing around the shop here. Okay, so new yarns in the shop, a couple things. One, I have 2 skeins that are unclaimed or not spoken for, I guess, from February. Is that February or was that March? No, I don't remember. The Wonderland Club. I don't remember if it's February or March, but this month is the Princess Bride. So the name of the yarn is Florin Castle, and this is part of the Tour of the Seasons, which any of the Wonderland yarns that have the gold labels are part of the Tour of the Seasons club. The base is Mad Hatter, which is their sport weight, 344 yards in 4 ounces. And if you're part of this club, every month you get a couple stitch markers, a set of stitch markers. And so one of them has the name of the book. So the blue one actually says Princess Bride on it. And then the other one is something a little fun. And so this one is like a sparkly gold crown. You're probably right. I think it might be March. No, I think it's February because it says February 14th is the date on the invitation. So each month you get an invitation to a party, and on the back of it is a work in progress card. So this one is Prince Humperdinck and Princess Buttercup wish you to join them in their wedding festivities at the Castle of Florin on February 14th. Also, when you get these, as a reminder, on the inside of the label is a QR code for has a link to different sport weight 1 skein patterns. I thought they also had the links still for the block of the month like they did last year. Okay, Stacy, I'll set one aside for you, but I didn't see that the last time I scanned a barcode on one. So they may have discontinued the blocks of the month. For those who are interested, I think I can still get you a link to last year's blocks. So you have those because they were all done in sport weight too. So now I have one left of those. If you are part of that club, I've got yours set aside with your name on it. Also, we got in while I was gone some Madeline Tosh. Just a little fly flying around in here. So Madeline Tosh sock. So we have not had the Tosh sock in here yet. If we have, it's been quite a while. The last shipment we got was Tosh Merino Light, which is a single ply, 100% superwash merino. Tosh sock is 100% superwash merino, but it's applied yarn and it is 395 yards in, why doesn't it say the weight? I'm guessing it's 100 grams. It doesn't say on their label if it's 100 grams or 4 ounces, but I'm guessing it's 100 grams. And when I put this order in, I went through, I went through and grabbed from what they had already dyed and ready to ship. So I have kind of varying amounts of some of these colors, but I just kind of wanted to give you an idea. We got some pretty speckles this time. So a couple of these, I have more than one. This one's called Goosebumps and their Tosh sock is $32.50 a skein. So we've got 2 skeins of Goosebumps. This one I think is just absolutely gorgeous. It's called Weighted Blanket and it's this mauvey burgundy. Man, these colors just speak to me. You guys know that. Kind of this mauvey burgundy base, but then it's got these speckles of turquoise and teal and this bright purples and the blues. I have them on an end cap over there. I think I have 2 of these. I might have 3 of those as well. That one's called Weighted Blanket. So pretty. I know I've got 2 of these. This is called Birkenstick. And it's a beautiful gray and taupe blend. I'm not quite sure. I need to open one of these up because I'm not quite sure how this would knit up. I want to say, I think it would kind of like if you knit a hat or socks, kind of do like a spirally thing. Yeah, so the skein's kind of half and half gray and half this taupey color, but with the speckles in there would be a really fun hat or pair of socks. Great neutral, something fun to do that would go with either black or brown. Would be a great men's something. So I've got 2 of these. Oh, there's a quote on the inside. I got distracted, you guys. Sorry. Never looked on the inside of a Tosh sock label before. I've got 2 or 3 of these Astrid Gray Optic. So it's a gray base with flecks of black and blue. Kind of a blue-gray base with flecks of black and blue in there. Some of these are very densely stained. This one's called Grace Notes, and it's kind of a pale beigey gray with flecks of neon orange, bright pink, bright blue, and some kind of a raspberry color in there. But it doesn't, if you heard me describe it, it would sound kind of crazy, but it's not. It's pretty muted, but it's very beautiful. That's Grace Note. Then there's Asphalt. And a lot of these, when I'm ordering them, I couldn't see the colors very well. So they all, like I have quite a few that have kind of the gray tones to them. But I just thought they looked fun and different. So this one's called Asphalt and it's a kind of a medium dark gray, blue gray, but then it's got specks of like this rusty red orange in there too. That one's beautiful. I feel like we did some good masculine colors. Black Sea is a deep gray, and then it has some flecks of like a olive green and gold, kind of an orangey gold in there. Can't really see it because of the gray base, which is kind of neat. It just shows Just shows through little bits every now and then in there. And then the mountains are calling. So this one's a kind of a pale blue with the different shades of green. This reminds me right when we first opened, I had a color that seemed very similar to this from Mint Rain that was inspired by Outlander. I think it was called Standing Stones. It was a little bit more gray than this, but it kind of gives me the same vibes with the speckles and the blue gray and the green. Sort of like a mossy mountain and sky. So those are the new colors that we have left with the Madeline Tosh. Like I said, I have varying amounts of those based on the color. I just ordered what they had in stock. We did get a bunch of new colors of Dream and Color in. Those are up on the wall. Our sock wall looks good. It's nice and full with lots of colors. Our DK wall we got a restock of variations as well in both fingering and DK. We've got Malabrigo coming soon. I don't know. I feel like I'm always ordering yarn, you guys. It's what we do. Let's see what else. Those are the new yarns I wanted to talk about. Oh, over my shoulder, you can see I've got the trunk show set up. I haven't gotten a message back from Barocco to tell me when I need to ship that on to a shop or where I need to ship it on to. So it's here for another few days at least. The yarn is it's Barocco something. Millstone tweed. So if you got the pattern book, it comes with 8 patterns. We have all 8 patterns here on display as part of the trunk show. So you can see there's the green sweater, the gold poncho, the burgundy sweater. There's a pink hat and fingerless mitt set. There is the blue-gray sweater, the gray cowl and hat, brown shawl, and then the charcoal and rust colored sweater that I wore last week. All of those are in this book. All of those are using the Millstone tweed, which comes in, what did I say? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 5, 38 colors. 38 colors this yarn comes in. Look at how pretty that is. There are so many pretty colors in there. I especially love this purple one right there. I feel like they sent us the more muted colors, which is probably more universal. But we've got it here for until they tell me I have to send it on to somebody. So at least another few days. Millstone tweed is a wool blend. It comes in 50-gram balls, and we are taking special orders for that because we don't have the yarn here in the shop. So, but you can come in and you can touch and feel and check out the samples, flip through the pattern book so you can get an idea if it's something that you want. Ruth, it is Aran weight. So they're 50-gram balls. I believe they're $11.50 a piece. They have 97 yards per ball, 60% wool, 20% polyamide, 20% viscose, which would be those little tweedy bits. And it's so soft. It's a 2-ply, lovely, lovely, lovely yarn. So that's how the balls look. Like the donut style yarns. What else is coming up? I think that's it for right now. I did post earlier today. I shared Dream in Color posted their club color for March. That is supposed to be delivered tomorrow. So we'll have that here in the shop this week. If you pre-ordered that, we'll have yours set aside for you as always. But those, I know we've got a few of them still up for grabs. So you could come in and check that out or let us know if that's something that you're interested in. It looks so bright and beautiful. Ashley commented that it looked like hummingbirds, so it's a nice, pretty, springy color. Um, oh, also for those of you keeping track, I am now the official owner of 2 dogs and 2 cats. So our new rescue pup Nova came to us today. We went to Bay City to get her and her crate and her goodies, and she did really well in the car on the way back, and she seems to be doing really well at the house. She and Cassie are just running around like fools. I think I can't have nice things in my house for a while. I mean, they're outside running around as much as possible, but it can't be out there all the time, and I can't be out there keeping an eye on them so they're not digging up everything in the yard. But I think they both are going to enjoy the freedom and the exercise of having a playmate. And yeah, so my house is just gonna be full of all the love from all of the critters. So the cats are definitely not my biggest fans right now. They have pretty much parked themselves under my bed between bringing Nova, who is the new dog. So we've got Cassiopeia, who is Cassie, who's our puppy that we've had for a year, and then Nova is Supernova, is our new puppy today, and she is pet, and they're about the same height, but Nova is about twice the density of Cassie. She's a big solid girl. Um, in addition to that, I have 3 college kids in my living room for the week while they're home for spring break. And as I left tonight, they were making all kinds of fun food things at the house. So you know, all of the love is in the house, and we're just gonna keep it up. So I have to cool it a little bit on the pets for a while, unless I end up buying a compound in the woods somewhere. I think I'm capped at 2 dogs and 2 cats and a kid. Um, but I'm sure you guys will hear more antics about that. And as summer turns into fall, I probably will be knitting sweaters for 2 short-haired dogs that are gonna need them next winter. So, um, thank you, Aunt Jackie. Those of you who have seen Aunt Jackie comment here on here all the time, I got to see her grandson play hockey on Saturday. He was in the starting lineup. It was so cool to see people walking around wearing number 8 Werenski jersey, and me kind of being like, hey, I kind of know that guy. It was pretty cool to be able to have that knowledge. I wish I had planned it a little bit ahead of time, so maybe we could have done a meet and greet, but yeah, I'm gonna blame that on anesthesia brain too. So I hope everybody has a good week. I am going to sign off and go home and make sure everybody is surviving at my house. And that it hasn't devolved into complete chaos. But have a good week. If we don't see you here in the shop, we're back to our regular programming. So I will be back here next Monday at 7. And yeah, stay creative. Have a good week. And I will see you